So today I'm going to show my Storm Collectibles Akuma, and I'm going to be saying this a lot because I'm kind of going not really completely in reverse order, but in order of uh, least to best. Yeah, I wouldn't say Akuma's the least for sure, but Akuma definitely has some issues, and I'm going to say this a bunch, which is that he is one of the reasons I stopped buying the Storm Collectible figures. And I'll show you why in just a little bit. But he was one of the last, probably maybe final three figures that I bought. I've also had very little luck with Akuma himself. Here's my Bandai figure, which I gave rather low marks to because he loves to just fall apart. So I think standing there, he looks fantastic, but he's got three bad joints on him, and that's way too much. So this figure, this is from Street Fighter V. He's got some really cool features. The sandals are kind of a separate piece. I've never actually pulled them out from his toes, but I assume that they could be removed. Um, the belt is not, I don't think it's separate, um, but this kind of swivels. I like the feel of the figure. It has a flesh-like appearance. The prayer beads are separate. Good face, mostly good muscularity. Um, Still has one of the same issues that so many of the Street Fighter characters have, both in Bandai and in Storm Collectibles, which is he has some extra muscles in there. I don't know why. I don't know who is doing the designing for these, but they seem to have problems. Now, the outer part of his arms, the radial brachialis, the triceps, the biceps, uh, that vein, everything looks really good. So I like the way that looks. So this is Street Fighter V. Here's on Big Bad Toy Store. This is the arcade edition. I'm not sure if that's the one I have. I guess I do have the arcade edition because I have two Storm Collectible Akuma, and both of them have problems. So I'll get into both of those. But the main issue with Akuma here is that his feet, his ankles, have almost no mobility to them. So when he stands there, let's see if I can show it. His feet kind of angle in. They should lay flat, sort of like these feet, but these feet do not. Um, so that's more of an aesthetic problem, and it's annoying. A figure of this cost and caliber should have some ankle articulation. The other problem is that his ankles also barely move up and down. So the problem there is that if I stand him upright, he falls backwards. So I need to lean him forward a little bit, not terribly, but lean him forward a little bit just so he'll stay standing up. And I just feel so on here it's listed at 69, I don't or $70. I don't know what I paid for it. That's actually a pretty good price for a figure this size. This is a little bit oversized. Um, Somewhere I think between a 1/12 and 1/9 scale figure. So they're bigger than the Bandai figures. Oh, so it says 1/12, but these are a little bit larger because these are listed as 1/12 too. But you could see that it's noticeably larger than the Bandai figure. All of these figures are. And Storm Collectibles really likes to go with the beefy figures, and I'm going to show more later of some really beefy figures that do definitely look great on a shelf. I think overall he's good, and I think that you kind of have to have kind of a careful eye like I do, and maybe a tiny bit of OCD um, to notice some of the problems. But I definitely, ankles are one of the areas, just in general, that drive me crazy when a studio, when a figure maker can't get them right. Mezco has some problems with it. Um, Bandai occasionally, Storm Collectibles sometimes. Mezco, I would say, is the worst, but this one is definitely a disappointing figure in that it just doesn't. His ability to stand is very limited, and I'll also say that from a balance standpoint, from a posability standpoint, the Bandai figures are much better. Uh, these do not hold a pose, and I think a lot of it has to do with the size. This is kind of the almost the perfect size for posing. This is a little bit bigger, heavier, and not as good. Of the joints aren't as good. The joints are a little bit softer. The whole thing feels a little bit more rubbery, softer. This is hard plastic. This is very soft plastic or soft rubber, and so it. But I always say that I pose them in neutral stances. So I just wish he could stand up straight.